Take 12! Not kidding. Anyway, so I'm going to try and keep this brief. Finding bad guitar teachers on YouTube. Okay, I'm going to give you some examples here. Teachers that do not teach you proper hand curvature, proper fingering of chords or notes. Teachers that will say that anyone and everyone on this planet is more than capable of learning how to play guitar and becoming a great player, or just playing guitar, period. Okay? Yes, it is true it's a right-handed world, but us lefties don't have to comply. Okay? In fact, I do play left-handed and right-handed. I'm teaching myself right-handed these days, but I've been playing left for over 30 years, and I've been also teaching for over 25. Okay? Now, I've also taught a variety of people from different age groups and so on. Now, one thing I recently found out was that somebody who I'd taught before never told me that they were left-handed, and they were playing on a right-handed guitar and were struggling a lot. Okay? And I told this person, I says, well, you know, if you played left because you're left dominant, you'd be great, you know. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened and why that person bought a right-handed guitar to begin with if they're already left-handed, but maybe it's because of availability, maybe it was price at the time. Some people worry about price, and, you know, there was a time period way back in the day when I first started playing where left-handed guitars were double or more the price of a right-handed guitar in the exact same precise model. Okay, so it was like, that was a rip-off. Nowadays, and for the last at least 15 years or so, the prices are now equal. And if you do find any company, music store or otherwise, selling a left-handed guitar for more money than a right-handed in the same model, then they're a rip-off and a scam place, and I would not deal with them. Okay. Anyways, getting back to finding bad teachers. There was a teacher that I found that says you can learn 1,000 songs plus in only 21 days, from right scratch as a beginner, never played before in your life, and in 21 days at 20 minutes a day of practice, you will be able to play over 1,000 songs in those 21 days. Not true. Okay? Not unless you're a natural born-blooded guitarist prodigy. Okay? In which case, prodigies are about 1 in every few million. Alright? So, yeah. Okay, that's kind of a false thing. Bad teacher. Bad teacher. Anyways. Yeah. Oh, God. There's a few things. Teachers that teach chord fingerings the wrong way. Let me give you an example of what I've seen. Oh, this was funny. And I'm going to show you how it's actually supposed to be done. So I was watching this video. I'm trying to search out the bad teachers, but I'm not giving you any names. That's up to you to figure it out. So I'm just going to teach you how to find them. Alright? Now, an E minor chord, properly done, is like this. Okay? So that means that your second finger goes on the second fret of the 5th string, and your third finger goes on the second fret of the 4th string. That is an E minor. Okay? La, E minor. And if you take this little finger here, your first finger, and you drop it down on the 3rd string, right? 3rd string. That becomes an E. Now, I'm going to show you one more chord, and then I'm going to show you some, okay? An A chord is properly executed 2 ways for a basic A chord, okay? And the most commonly used position is this one, using number 2, number 3, and number 4. So 1, 2, number 3, and your pinky's number 4. Okay? All on the 2nd fret. 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 4th. 3rd finger, 2nd fret, 3rd. 4th finger, 2nd fret, 2nd string. Proper A. Strum no more than 5 strings. Okay? Because your top string is an A note. Okay? Another alternate way to do this chord, okay, but before we get into that, put this finger down on the 1st fret, 2nd string, and lift your pinky. That's an A minor. Now, the other A is still using 3 fingers, but it will not be shown on a basic chord chart that I'm going to show you. Uses your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Same positioning, same strings, but just using first, second, and third, because it'll allow you to use your pinky over here, which is used in some blues songs. If you do it this way, you can't get to that string, to that G note. Okay, so this is actually a G note that you're adding in on the E string, high E. Alright, so now you've seen some proper ways. So the improper way that he showed to do the E, or E minor, was with these two fingers, first and second, doing it this way. First finger on the second fret on the fifth, second finger on the second fret on the fourth, is what he showed for an E minor. So how do you go from an E minor to an E? Because there are a lot of songs written E minor to E, or E to E minor, right? So try something like this. It slows you down. It's very difficult to do that, okay? In fact, it's almost impossible unless you are lightning fast, okay, and can keep up with your strumming at the same time as you're doing that wicked flip over. Alright, so that's a wrong kind of E, and it is also not in the chord chart. Okay, now the other chord he teaches is an A chord. Okay, he's listing it as an A major chord, so A. Okay, and it's the same fingerings as the E. He uses the first and the second, and then he just drops them down one set, which is fine. You can do that, right? Okay, we'll accept that. So first finger on the second fret on the fourth, and second finger on the second fret on the third. That's his A. But how do you go to an A minor? You're gonna miss a lot of the times if you have to make that switch, and you will have those switches between an A and an A minor. It's easier to do this. And if you need an A sustain to an A, which you will have in some songs, it's a slide. Okay, so how are you going to do that? Oh, you can do it this way, I suppose. But then you're using the alternate regular A chord first. Okay? Or you're doing it this way, which is wrong. And that's very clumsy, because then you still got the problem of, oh, I need to go here to there. Here to here is easier. Here to here is easier. And this person is talking about for beginners. And he's giving you all the wrong fingerings. Now let me prove it to you. I really hate it when people get lied to and screwed over, and oh, it drives me bananas. Now look at this chord chart. Now this is a left-handed chord chart, but it makes no difference. There's your A chord. It uses 3 fingers. Now, what are the numbers on here? 2, 3, and 4, right? Oh, well, look at that. 2, 3, and 4. Proper A chord. Right? What about the E minor? An E minor is supposed to use 3 strings. Right? So we go down here to the E minor. Oh, sorry. It's E is 2 strings. E minor, fingers 2 and 3. He uses 1 and 2. There's the E minor. Okay? There's your E minor. An E7 sustain uses 3 fingers, and E7 uses 2 in another pattern. E major 7, then you got the E. Now an E is 3 fingers, okay? But the E minor is what he showed using fingers 1 and 2, and this is clearly marked 2 and 3, which is proper. Okay, same as the A is 3 strings, 3 fingers, and it's using 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so you got 2, 3, and number 4. Wow. So, those are a couple little telltales. Here's another telltale of a lie. Anybody can transition. Well, anybody who's playing a left-handed guitar can play a right-handed guitar, can transition to it with absolutely no difficulty. Okay? Excuse me, but I've been trying to teach myself right-handed, off and on, mind you, but still trying to teach myself right-handed for a long time. And let me tell you something, right-handed is really not that easy when you're used to playing left for most of your life, okay? And going the opposite way too, you know, if you were playing right-handed and you got to switch to left, it's going to mess you up. Look at, there's a video, left and right hand, was it the left-handed challenge? Chapman Guitars did it with his little buddy, was it Chapman and Captain, whatever, anyways, you know the guys. Chapman, check out Chapman's channel on the left-handed guitar challenge. Now, him and Buddy, they were totally on left-handed guitars and couldn't do really anything with them, right? But they're right-handed players normally. Kind of like me, I'm a left-handed player, and I try to play right-handed. Now, I've had a bit of practice at this in the last week or so. And so here's a right-handed guitar, right? I'm not going to plug it in. Now, I can play this not too bad because I'm also using a .38 millimeter pick. I still can't do hand dampening yet. And I'm having problems with the blues stuff, you know, doing bada bada bada. I'm getting there, okay? And I also have a 3/4 guitar that's pink that I can play with too. My point is, you know, I got music in my blood, I got the guitar in my blood, but transitioning into a right-handed playing mode, let me tell you something, it is difficult because your neck is twisted different, your spine is twisted different, you're putting your arms different, your hands different, and you're used to playing this way, now you're trying to play this way, and it is very difficult to make that switch over. So a guy who says, oh yeah, you can do the switch, you know, and really, you know, all you lefties should be playing right-handed guitars anyway because you have more choices. Really? Okay, so we don't have a lot of choices from Gibson and a few other of the big boys. Martin, we have an abundance of choices. Anything coming out of China that you can buy off AliExpress, okay, for example, or even Amazon.com.ca, there's a ton of these Chinese guitars that are left-handed that we have choices on. Sure, some of them are cheaper, and you can get some expensive ones too. And you can get a lot of fakes of Martins and Gibsons, also known as the Chibsons. Okay, if you watch the China Guitar Skeptic channel, I love his channel. Anyways, there are an abundance of choices. There's more choices out there than what these people would leave you to believe. You do not have to comply to the right-handed world if you are a left-handed player. Okay? Now, if you are left-handed dominant, you should be playing a left-handed guitar. Okay? In fact, my student right now, the one student, actually has to make the switch to left. They ended up getting a right-handed guitar originally, and the student is struggling a lot. And so I put my student onto one of my left-handed adult-size guitars, and did great, you know, for just the one lesson. And it was like, wow, you know, picked it up really good. Left-handed dominancy, you know, it's a little different playing left now because it was natural for the last month, you know, going the other way. But going to the lefty, I'm sure my student is going to do exceedingly well. Okay, because they also practice every single day, you know, and that's what you got to do. And of course now you got to break the fingers in again because you're going the opposite direction. Another student I taught a few years back had no idea that they were actually left-handed, and they were playing a right-handed guitar. And so I recently found this out, and I'm like, well, you know, you should make the switch to lefty, and I bet you I could whip you into shape pretty quick. You know, and I probably could, you know, because of the left-handed dominancy, you know. Dominant left is going to do better on a left-handed guitar. My own teacher was dominant left, and he played right-handed, and he found it very struggling, very hard to do, but he did it. But the thing is he wanted a Gibson Les Paul, and that was like $2,500, right? And this is going back before I took lessons, and I was 15 when he started teaching me. And that was a long time ago. It was over 30-odd years ago. Anyways, but he's lefty dominant, but he forced himself to learn right because he could not afford and did not want to pay Gibson at that time to times or more money for the exact same guitar as a lefty, where today you can buy a left or right-handed guitar out of Gibson for the exact same price. Okay, and you don't have to spend $2,500 either. And in fact, Epiphone, you can get left-handed SGs, left-handed Les Pauls for like under $600. Okay, so yeah, what's that tell you? Things have changed, and they finally stopped being greedy money makers and decided to make the playing field even for money, because it does not actually cost more money to make a left-handed guitar than it does a right-handed, whether it's acoustic or electric. And I'll get into a video about converting guitars too, because I'd like to talk about that with you guys as well, and the pros and cons to it all. But these are some things that you need to be aware of to spot bad teachers, okay? Really seriously take it under advisement. I'm trying to help you guys out here, you know, and give you the best advice I possibly can. Now, I do have some lesson videos on my channel for guitar, but I really don't get much into it because it's not something I'm majorly concerned with in my channel. I do a lot of music as it is on my channel, but I also do RC, I do other things, and I do a boatload of reviews because I like to help people out with products of every day too, right? So anyways, that's it for now. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will do the very utmost best I can to answer them, because I do answer all my emails that I get from people. So let's continue on and have fun playing guitar, right? Catch ya.